Hi witches! So before I start, I just want to say a huge thank you and welcome to my newest patron, Blair. Thank you so much for supporting me on Patreon. It really, really means the world to me, and it helps me do this and like live and just be a human being. So thank you so much, like, to everyone who does support me. It means a whole lot to me, so thank you very much. Today though, I wanted to sit and chat and show you how to make a witch bottle. So this is actually a really cool concept. I made witch bottles when I first started practicing. A lot of people think they are baneful magic, but it's actually a protective magic if you look at the history of it, though I understand why they are a little bit sinister looking. So anyways, witch bottles are spell jars, basically, that are made specifically to protect the home, despite their sinister appearance. So witch bottles date back centuries. They go back to at least the 1600s. We found some in America, in Pennsylvania, Virginia, and along the East Coast where the colonies were, specifically dating back to the early 1700s. So you can see they are a very old tradition, and it's something that I think is cool to honor. Despite the fact that witches back in those days were kind of seen as evil, so the magic and stuff, what we consider magic today, was kind of just considered normal practice back in those days, or like superstition. So it's kind of cool to kind of carry on that tradition. They were made to protect the home specifically from negative spirits and evil back in colonial America, and ironically, like I said, were made to ward against witches. So if we kind of think back to the Salem witch trials or the movie The Witch, I guess it's like that kind of vibe. For colonial America, those were the kind of people who were making these witch bottles. So witch bottles are basically what they sound like. They are bottles that are filled with sharp nails or pins, teeth, hair, fish hooks, broken glass, and often are included the creator's blood, urine, saliva, or alternatively, in the more modern era, consecrated red wine. There is no set way of making a witch bottle. They are completely unique to whoever created them, and they can include a variety of the things that we talked about. If you go back to my home protection spell jar with the nails and stuff in it, that was kind of based on this concept. So a lot of witch bottles kind of have some of those more unsavory items, but the more kind of gross, nasty stuff that you put in there to catch those negative spirits, the more effective these spells are. So October is the traditional time to make these, which is why I'm doing the video now. The veil between worlds is very thin right now, so spirits walk the earth, not all of them being, happy-go-lucky spirits. So if you do make a witch bottle, now is the time to do it. Once you make this witch bottle, you have to store it somewhere, and there are two schools of thought to this. I think both are valid, but it kind of just depends on where you live. There's one school of thought that asks us to put these witch bottles on the edge of our property to keep the spirits away from even entering the house or getting anywhere near. If you do decide to use this method, I actually recommend making 4 of these witch bottles and placing them at each corner of your property. To kind of make a protective grid. Once they are there, as long as they remain undisturbed and unbroken, the magic will hold. So that's the whole concept and the idea. People went to really great lengths to conceal these. They concealed them outside the home and inside the home, which is the second school of thought. And that is to put it somewhere near your door frame or above your door, main door frame, in a place that will not be where it won't be discovered or disturbed. So if you have a cabinet, or I plan to put mine outside near our house guardian, which I mean is kind of giving it away, but whatever. I didn't say where. But regardless, you want to put it in a place where it's not going to be disturbed. The spell jars, as long as the glass is intact, the magic will be intact. So I'm going to switch views over here. I have a new little altar that I bought yesterday. I found at a thrift store, which was really cool. And that is going to be kind of my little stage for today, because I have a lot of stuff on my altar. I'm doing a lot of stuff right now. So today I am going to show you how to make a smaller witch bottle. I decided to make this small because I do want it to be accessible to a wide variety of people, whether or not you are in the broom closet or you are not. And also you can totally scale this up if you would like. I find that discreet protective magic is really special to me in my craft, so I tried to focus on that. So for this witch bottle, you're going to need a small jar. You could also use ceramic, or it doesn't have to be glass. It could be be like ceramic or stoneware if you prefer. That's actually the more traditional method. A lot of things were made out of clay. You're gonna need pins, or if you're making a bigger spell jar, you'll probably want like nails. Bonus if they're coffin nails, screws, hooks, shards of glass, anything sharp, but please be careful with that. Like, I don't want anyone getting hurt. For if you are using pins, I do recommend using dressmaker pins, as they are 100% metal, because they are 100% metal, and I don't like using plastic in my practice. So that's completely up to you, but that's what I recommend. Other things that I'm adding to this are black salt for protection, rosemary again for protection. I'll be adding my own saliva. You can use urine if you want to be like traditional. That is the traditional thing that was in them. But this is really small. It's not something I really want to do. And the idea between using urine or saliva or blood is to create that connection between you and your spell. So that spell is specifically energetically charged to you and will keep you and your household safe. If all of those things seem unsightly, or you're just like, no, I don't want to do that, you could also use consecrated wine, as long as you charge that with your energy. And that's another common thing that people do, especially these days. The final thing you're going to need for this is a black candle. So I'm going to be using like a little chime candle, and I'm going to let it burn down to seal everything. So I'm going to go add everything to my jar, and I'll show you what that looks like.